Hello everyone and welcome to another News Coolum video and another plug side chat. I wanted to address something that I've been seeing, well, stated in the electric vehicle community, but it goes beyond that, right? So the Bolt EV has been out for about 2 years now, and it hasn't really had any solid competitors until very, very recently. And the only comparable vehicle really that's available at this point is the Hyundai Kona Electric. Now, a lot of people have talked about how it sort of leapfrogged the Bolt EV, and it does have important features that the Bolt EV is missing, but really they are comparable. They're a give and take when choosing between something like a Bolt EV and the Hyundai Kona Electric. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about is this idea that because the Kona Electric is going to be available soon, that Bolt EV sales are going to tank. I'll say this, I think it's going to be the exact opposite. I think the release of the Kona Electric is actually going to increase Bolt EV sales, even if GM doesn't make any significant improvements or advancements to the Bolt EV's platform. And this is why I also say that things like the Tesla killer myth are just absurd. If you look at especially the US market right now, electric vehicles make up less than 3%. All plug-in vehicles make up less than 3% of new sales. And when you look at battery electric vehicles, it's maybe 1.5 to 2% of overall vehicle sales. So it's a really small amount of new vehicle sales that belong to battery electrics and plug-in electrics. That means there's a huge market to grow. And right now, we've been supply constrained, not demand constrained. And that's true pretty much across the board for all low compromise electric vehicles, essentially electric vehicles that could replace an internal combustion engine vehicle for most Americans' primary driving needs. So to me, there's a huge amount of room to grow, and I don't really understand this zero-sum mentality that I see a lot of electric vehicle proponents, a lot of electric vehicle advocates echoing, right? I expect it from mainstream media that's mostly funded by fossil fuels. I see why they would say that electric vehicle sales are declining, or that they're not going to increase, or there's a finite market, or there's a limited demand. I understand why media sources that are funded from the fossil fuel industry would say that. Why people who are proponents of electric vehicles say that, I think it's just a basic lack of critical thinking. Because here's what happens. When one person buys an electric vehicle, it doesn't mean that someone else is going to buy that electric vehicle. What it means is someone is going to see that person they know driving an electric vehicle, and then they're going to ask about electric vehicles. So if someone sees a brand new Kona Electric, well, maybe they like it, maybe they don't like it. Maybe there are things about it that they don't like, but things about the Bolt EV that they like better. What ends up happening is they can then make an informed choice, knowing now that electric vehicles are available that would meet their needs. And so what will happen as a result of the Kona Electric being made available in the United States is you will see Bolt EV sales increase. And it's not going to be at the cost of Kona Electric sales. And it's not going to be at the cost of Nissan Leaf sales. And it's not going to be at the cost of Kia e-Niro or Niro EV sales. And it's not going to be at the cost of Tesla Model 3 sales. What's going to actually happen is all of those sales are going to increase as people become more aware that there are no compromise or low compromise electric vehicles available to them for purchase. This is why, despite Tesla ramping up Model 3 sales even though they changed up their sales model and added a Model 3 mid-range that comes in a few thousand more than a fully loaded Bolt EV, none of that actually affected the Bolt EV's sales numbers. In fact, they're almost identical to what they were last year at this time. The only thing that affected the Bolt EV sales numbers was that GM was directing about 50% of their production overseas. Now that they're not, Bolt EV sales numbers are back to what they were before, about 3,000 a month, and they're probably going to go up more. Model 3 sales are going to dip a little bit, but not because the Kona Electric is available in the United States or the Bolt EV is gaining more favor in the market. No, it's because Tesla is directing their production to Europe. So really what we're seeing right now is there is a sort of insatiable demand right now in the public for no and low compromise electric vehicles. That's why I'm considering this whole Tesla killer and Bolt EV killer myth busted. It's not true. And we're going to see that play out in the next year, 2019. Overall, EV sales might decline in the United States, but that's because if Tesla directs as many Model 3s to Europe as they need to satisfy Europe's demand for the Model 3, I don't know that there's enough production capacity to make up that gap right now. So 2019 might see a small dip in overall electric vehicle sales, but I'm not convinced that it will. It's probably going to at least be stable compared to 2018, and sales of the Bolt EV, sales of the Kona Electric, sales of the Nissan Leaf, they're all going to be doing really well, even though they're competing in a very similar space, because what they're offering are options in a highly competitive segment that still only makes up 2 to 3% of total vehicle sales. So my prediction right now is the Kona Electric is actually going to improve Bolt EV deliveries and sales. So we'll see, but that's what I think is going to happen. And I think that as electric vehicle advocates, as electric vehicle proponents, we need to break out of this zero-sum mindset and realize that we need to be promoting as many electric vehicles as we can, because chances are one of the upcoming electric vehicles is going to be the right choice for someone who doesn't currently drive an electric vehicle. I'd love to hear what you think. I know from the feedback I've heard, some of you do operate in that zero-sum mentality, and I'm hoping that I can sway you away from that. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel, and thank you for watching.